Hello everyone, we're back to a new video, and today I'm actually going to continue the series I was doing about the Avengers. And for this week I'm actually going to draw Thor, as this is going to be part 2 of drawing the 4 main Avengers, which will be Iron Man, Thor, Captain America, and Hulk. And this is step number 1. It's pretty easy. It's just when you already have the outline of Thor's body, just drawing a circle to figure out where his face is gonna go. This is just an easy part of the drawing, no harm done. But for step number 2, things are gonna get a little bit more difficult, because as you can see now in step number 2, what you have to do is that you have to start drawing in those cross lines to figure out where the eyebrows and the nose is gonna go. So you really must plug in those parts of the drawing and sketch them out correctly. It's in case, not like me, because I had to redraw this part like 3 or 4 times, and I don't want you to do that. As you can see here in step number 3, what I had to do is that I finished sketching the rest of his hair, and you can see I already sketched out his mouth. But as I told you before, I made mistakes with those eyebrows, so I had to re-sketch them in step number 3. So be careful with that. For step number 4 is just finish sketching the rest of his body. As you know, in my videos, I don't usually show you videos of me sketching or drawing, because I think it would take too much time. I'm mostly take those video parts to show you how to paint and how to add color to it, because I think that's the most difficult part, and as well as the most important part. So when it comes to drawing, I only sketch out the figures in order to know where each thing is going to go. So from here on out, we're going to start painting, and I hope you like this and stick on, because it's gonna get a lot better. So yeah, we're here in the painting part, and in the shading and everything. So how do I start by doing this? Well, I start with my skin tones, with a light skin tone and a brown skin tone. Why brown and why light? Because when it comes to brown, I can actually give in those shadings inside of his face and inside of his body. But when it comes to light skin tone, I can give in those highlights that I need in his face, and it will look pretty amazing at the end of the day. And I think that's exactly what I need. For this final piece comes out, you will truly see where the shades and the highlights come from Thor's face, of course. And as I'm telling you right here, I'm going to paint his costume, or his cape and costume and chest and everything, the hammer as well. Even the eyes, I'm actually going to paint them with Prismacolor Premier Color pencils. I really like these color pencils because it's so well crafted, and it can really help you out when getting those light and dark tones as well. So that's what I used. And as you can see here, I'm using a light pink color pencil just to get into those lip tones, you know. And it was pretty fun to do this. And I'm just using some pencils just to add in those details to his face. A pretty easy part, a pretty enjoyable part. I really enjoy when it comes to the painting parts of the drawings, because painting is actually the most fun of it, because you can explore, you can combine colors, you can add in your own style to them, and it's pretty fun when you actually came to do this. Now I'm just adding Thor's beard, of course, and I'm using brown Prismacolor color pencil, and then I use pencil just to wrap it all up. Now what I'm doing here is just outlining the beard, you know, so the beard will look a little more three-dimensional, and it will be a believable Thor beard at the end of the drawing. And obviously, sometimes I do make mistakes, so I have to use my eraser. In fact, I make a ton of mistakes when it comes to drawing. My eraser is practically the best tool I can get when it comes to doing a picture or something, because it really helps me out. So yeah, and now what I'm gonna start doing here is that I'm gonna start by painting his hair. Now his hair was actually in some way difficult, in some way it was not, because it had to be a blonde hair, but it's not really that yellow. It's like gray. It's a combination between gray and yellow. So at the same time as it was hard, it was still very easy, because if you get on those tones correctly, then you shouldn't have to sketch out the rest of his hairlines. But if you don't get that color correctly, even if you sketch out every hairline in his hair volume, it's still not gonna look good. So the basic thing about drawing Thor's hair was just to getting those right tones. How do I got these tones? Well, I outlined his hair with black, and I shaded in with white colored pencil. Obviously, I just used the yellow colored pencil just to add in some highlights, just so it could look like he's actually blonde and not just a gray-haired guy. And for me, it worked pretty well. I don't think it worked perfectly as I would have hoped, but it really matched up correctly, and I think it's a believable hair color for Thor's. And for Chris Hemsworth as well. And as you can see here, as I told you before, shaded in with your white colored pencil. Now what I'm starting to do here is I'm already wrapping up the face of Thor, and I'm going to start by coloring his cape. Only his shoulder part of the cape, because I actually want to start by coloring his armor first. His, you know, like sweater vest armor that those Norse gods armor they wear. So that's what I'm start painting right here. So to the bottom of the neck, what you must do is that you must start painting. It's like a dark blue tone. So to get those dark blue tones, I actually used a lot of black. It was my primary color, and then violet blue to add highlights. Shade them all in with white colored pencil, which will really help in order to get those nice tones blend in correctly, as you can see right here. And when it comes to the armory, which is actually silver and should look like metal, I only use black colored pencil for highlights and white colored pencil to shade it all in and make it look like it's a believable piece of metal. As for the rest of his chest and armor, obviously it's with the same colors I told you before. It's just adding a lot of black and using blue for the highlights. Then it's just all about shading it all in with your white color, as you can see right now I'm doing. And as I keep on telling you how to draw the plates of his armor, the plates are actually the easiest part, I think, because it's just adding a highlight of black, and from that black highlight you can easily just flay it all in with your white color and make it all come together and render in well with the sheet. Of course, I painted the same way I painted his face, with some light colored pencil and some brown colored pencil. And Thor's hammer as well was pretty easy. It was exactly the same thing as his chest plates. Just add in a little bit of black, and from that black you shaded it all the way to those dark tones you need. So yeah, it was pretty fun to do this. Thor's done, Captain America's done. I've drawn 2 of the core main Avengers, and I really hope you like this. If you did, remember to subscribe, leave a comment, like the video, and I'll see you next time.